the weekend. Kilmacud Crokes beat Tinahilly by 4-15 to 8 points. Remarkably, Ava Rutledge hit 3-1 from play, was named player of the match, deservingly so. Kilmacud Crokes winning the first ever Leinster club title of their history on the ladies' side. And the other final, Ballymacarby, 8 points. Banner Ladies, 5 points. Ballymacarby have 41 Waterford titles in a row, and they've only converted a Munster title now for the first time in 22 years. They'd lost 11 Munster finals in those 22 years. They managed to get over the line. What do you make of these two games?
Well, firstly, with Ballymacarby, Ballymac as we call them for short, it's a phenomenal thing that they've done, achieving 41 counties in a row. Now, what happens when you win that many counties in a row? People say, well, it's not worth winning. If one team can dominate, then it's obviously not a good championship, and you don't really deserve credit for that. I always thought that was a harsh theory, because they work incredibly hard. It's not their fault that no one has beaten them. It's not their fault that no one is able to come and take what they've got. And so I really felt for the group itself to get the credit that they deserve. They had to win a Munster or another one. They hadn't done it in 22 years. And well done to Michelle Ryan, by the way, who was full back the last time. I think they won her, was she wing back, and was full forward the other day. Daughter of the legendary Michael Ryan, who was a Waterford senior hurling manager. He also managed the Waterford ladies to All-Ireland titles. And that was an iconic team in Waterford, because they were the first ones to kind of show us the way. They were the first ones to give us great days. So that's why I always have an affinity with ladies football, more so maybe than a lot of guys my age, because I always appreciated what they did and the work they put in and whatever. And Ballymacarby were a huge driving force in that as a club. A lot of the players would have come from there. And when they beat Mourneabbey in the quarterfinal, I knew they were probably onto something, because they were getting to finals and they were stumbling against the likes of Mourneabbey. So when they did that, I was like, whoa, something serious going on here. And funnily enough, it nearly got easier in Munster from there, because they didn't win Munster by winning that game, but certainly it suggested that, oh, maybe there's something different this time. So I knew when they did that, that was a big deal. So I'm delighted for them. Regards Kilmacud Crokes, it was their first time in the Leinster Championship. It was their first time to win the Dublin Senior Championship this year. Johnny McGee, the former Kilmacud Crokes player and former Kilmacud Crokes manager, told me that the ladies football side of the club only started like 20 odd years ago, something like that. It's very young anyway. And they only kind of started because there was a few of them there who wanted to play a bit of football, his sister included. And Lauren, I think his daughter, was a mascot. There's actually pictures of her as a very young child as a mascot for the team. But they came from there to win a Dublin Championship, first of all, for the first time, and then a Leinster Senior Championship. So it's been a phenomenal year. But it doesn't surprise me. You have the likes of Laura McGee, who actually wasn't there for Leinster, I don't think.
No, she wasn't.
She was away. She was there for Dublin. She wasn't there for Leinster. Ava, Michelle Davern, and like Molly Lamb, and a lot of other players who put an awful lot of work in for the last couple of years. Like, it would have been very easy for some of them. They got close on a few occasions, and that kind of hurt can drive you away. But if anything, it actually drove them on.
Yeah. And
once they won Dublin, I fancied them for Leinster. I'd seen them a couple of times in Dublin. I love how they moved the ball in the final against Nafina against Thomas Davis. I beg your pardon. Against Thomas Davis. Sorry, the hurlers and the footballers played Nafina in finals. The ladies played Thomas Davis. They let Thomas Davis back into it. They kind of sat back a bit. They lost their shape. But once they were able to see out that game, despite that, I said, right, this is a team who are actually going to get better as they go on, not worse.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised that they won Leinster. And look, again, as we said at the start, I've been involved with Crokes. I've seen the work that has gone on, and so much work has gone on from so many people in every aspect of the club. And I'm not surprised that this has happened because of that work. Same as every other GAA club in the world. I know people say, oh, it's a super club and all that, but like that actually poses its own challenge, the logistics of trying to manage that amount of numbers and trying to get pitches and coaches and all that. That's actually a really difficult thing, and people never talk about that when they're talking about Crokes. But it's just I wasn't surprised to see them win.